You know, when you think Spirit Airlines, you think, well, cheap flights.
Right.
Like the ultimate budget option if you don't mind maybe like sacrificing a little comfort.
Yeah, that's their whole thing, right?
Yep.
No frills, just low fares.
Exactly. But get this, what if I told you they're trying to change things up? Like ditch the whole bare bones approach and try a totally new strategy.
It's true. It's kind of a gamble, honestly. See, they're moving away from that, was it base fare plus fees thing
Right, right.
and trying something pretty different, actually. They're introducing, like, fare classes,
Mm,
4 of them.
Four. Okay, so hold on. We're not just talking like basic economy versus first class, right? This is different. What are these new options?
Okay, so picture this. You're flying Spirit, but you've got, like, an actual comfy seat.
On Spirit.
Yeah, and, like, maybe even free drink in your hand.
Okay, now you're messing with me.
No, I'm serious. It's their new Go Big experience. Basically, it's Spirit's version of, like, business class.
Wait, Spirit Airlines with comfy seats and free drinks. Is this like an early April Fool's joke?
Nope, it's real. A writer for The Street even tested it out, this Go Big thing. I mean, they flew from New York to Chicago, I think. And yeah, they got the whole, like, luxury treatment. Big seat, free checked bags. They even got priority boarding. Said it felt a lot like flying, like a regular airline's premium service.
Wow, that's nuts. But come on, there's got to be a catch. Go big. I'm picturing like $1,000 extra at least.
You'd think so, right? But here's the thing, it's not that bad price-wise. I mean, it's not like, dirt cheap, but the writer also tried their Go Comfy fare. Think of it like a middle ground. Get a free checked bag and priority boarding, but no fancy snacks. And get this, when they booked Go Big, was only like $60 more than their cheapest option.
$60 for all that extra legroom and a less, chaotic airport experience. Man, that's practically unheard of on other airlines. And suddenly all those like $10 bag fees don't seem worth it.
Right. Seems like Spirit's hoping people will see that, like realize that upgrading isn't that much more. It's a pretty smart way to, make more money without ditching their whole like budget-minded customers.
Okay, so they're trying to broaden their appeal a little bit with these new fare classes. But something tells me there's more to this story, right? Something about Spirit's finances, and it's not good.
Yeah, there's definitely some other stuff going on like behind the scenes.
Yeah, you could say that.
So we've got this Seeking Alpha article, Spirit Airlines, the bankruptcy silver lining. I mean, come on, that title alone, right?
Yeah, not exactly reassuring, is it?
Not really. So what's the deal? They going bankrupt or what?
Well, it's complicated. So, first things first, Spirit hasn't actually made a profit, since before the pandemic.
Oof, that's rough for any business,
Yeah, and for an airline, I mean, talk about a tough time to be in the red.
for sure. And that whole thing with JetBlue, that didn't help, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
No, not at all. Mergers are messy and expensive even when they work out. And in this case, well, it didn't exactly leave Spirit in a strong position.
Right, right.
And then on top of all that, there's this deadline coming up. They've got to refinance their debt. October 21st.
Refinance their debt. See, now that's where I get lost with all this financial stuff. What does that even mean? And why is this deadline such a big deal?
Okay, so imagine you've got like this big loan, right? And the interest rate is awful. So refinancing is basically like taking out a new loan, hopefully with a way better interest rate, to pay off the old one. It's like a do-over sort of for your debt.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
But the thing is, you got to find someone willing to give you that new loan, right? Which can be tough, especially if, you're already looking a little risky financially.
So basically, Spirit needs to refinance, or else what happens if they miss this deadline?
Well, if they can't work out a decent refinancing deal by October 21st,
Mm-hmm.
there's a pretty decent chance they might have to file for bankruptcy.
Like full-on bankruptcy for the whole airline.
Yeah, it's not like totally out of the question. It doesn't mean the company just vanishes overnight, though. Sometimes it's actually a strategic move.
Strategic. How so?
Well, think of it like hitting the reset button, kind of. Bankruptcy lets them renegotiate with, like, whoever they owe money to, but it's all under, supervision, basically, by the court. So they could potentially reduce their debt, get a fresh start, that kind of thing.
So you're saying bankruptcy could actually be like a good thing for Spirit?
It's possible. This analyst seems to think that by bringing up the possibility of bankruptcy, Spirit might be trying to get a better deal from their creditors. Sort of like, I don't know, a game of chicken almost.
That's a pretty risky game, though.
It is. But even with all this craziness going on, there are still some analysts who are cautiously optimistic about Spirit's future.
Really. Even with bankruptcy on the table, what are they seeing that we're not? Okay, so some analysts are optimistic about Spirit's chances, even with everything we just talked about. I gotta be honest, I'm not seeing it.
It's a tough one, for sure. But, like I said, Spirit does have a few things going for them. For one thing, those new fare classes. If those actually work, like if they get more customers and bring in some decent money, that would obviously be huge.
Right, right. So these new fares, they're not just about giving people more choices, they're a core part of their whole plan to, like, survive.
Basically, yeah. And another thing people forget sometimes is, well, assets. Spirit has assets.
Assets, huh? Like what? I mean, it's an airline, right? Besides those tiny seats.
Right. Well, for one, they've got planes, a whole fleet of them.
Yeah.
And those are valuable, even if they aren't exactly known for, like, luxury. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Plus, there's the whole brand recognition thing. I mean, love them or hate them, people know Spirit Airlines.
That's true, yeah. Okay, so planes, brand recognition, plus this whole new strategy with their fares. That's something, I guess. But is it enough? I don't know, the airline industry is just brutal, even without a potential bankruptcy looming.
Oh, for sure. Competition is fierce, no doubt.
Hmm.
But here's the thing. This whole Spirit situation, it might actually point to something bigger going on in the industry.
Okay. Like what?
Well, think about it. Airlines, especially budget airlines, they've been all about cutting extras, right? Offer the lowest possible price, even if it means, the seats are like sitting on a park bench.
Right, right, yeah.
But what if people are getting tired of that? Like, what if, after years of those crazy baggage fees and everything, travelers are actually willing to pay a bit more for a little comfort, a little less hassle?
Interesting. So maybe Spirit is actually ahead of the game here. Maybe they're the first ones to really see that people are like fed up and want something different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's possible. And if that's true, then those comfy seats and free drinks, that go big thing, it could be brilliant. Seriously.
Okay, so for someone listening right now, someone about to book a flight, what's the takeaway? Should they even consider Spirit?
That's the million-dollar question, huh?
Yeah.
Here's the bottom line. Look, if you got to have the absolute cheapest flight no matter what, then yeah, Spirit's still got that basic option. But if you can spend a bit more and you want, a less stressful experience, those upgraded fares are actually worth looking at. Just, keep an eye on the news. This whole refinancing thing, it's kind of a wild card. Could go either way.
Yeah, no kidding. High stakes for sure. Well, it'll be fascinating to see how this all plays out. Spirit Airlines, they're definitely trying to like rewrite their own story. Whether it has a happy ending, well, I guess we just have to wait and see. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.